वहाँ पे हिंदी कास्टिंग में और इंग्लिश कास्टिंग में वो गैप जो आ रहा है वो क्यों है और क्या चीज़ है वो?
derive any credit from the casters who are currently doing it, जो कोशिश बहुत अच्छी कर रहे हैं लेकिन not that great at thumbnails sometimes when it comes to it. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
that
can
great
vouch
at
for
any.
it. It's GE Viper comp on bind.
Because of a mental issue during the game, I feel like they kind of had that, reminiscence of what happened against Zeta in the previous game, and all the rumors that I'm hearing around what's happened with the team because they.
SK Rossi और कैरामल, people who are trying to be a caster or analyst in the game, तो उनके लिए क्या advice? GE bundle लिया क्या?
नहीं लिया तो ले लो जल्दी.
Hey guys, this is Clawbrain and welcome to another video. So this is the start of a new segment on my channel which is called Candid Conversations. Here I sit down with people from the esports industry and talk about themselves and the game. So if you find this interesting, make sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. Hey guys, today we have a very special guest with us, and I would like to call him the Johnny Sins of esports,
Wait,
and
what?
not because of his appearance, but because of many profession he does. He's a
Oh my god.
host, he's a caster, he's an analyst, he's a content strategist, and now he's a YouTuber as well. So welcome, universe. Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
show.
That's I can safely say that's one of the most bizarre intros I've gotten. But
Yeah,
thank you for that.
bizarre is one of those things we bring into this channel. So
Very nice.
yeah, so I'm sure many people know you, but I would like if you could introduce yourself a little.
Okay. Hey guys, everybody watching this video. I am Universe. I'm a Valorant Esports caster. I'm a YouTuber. I make videos on my channel for stories around everything that is South Asia and Pacific. I also enjoy being a watch partier now. That's become a part of my thing. So yeah, all things content, all things Valorant. Yeah, that's basically me with a little bit of a corporate side of a full-time job. But yeah, that's basically it.
So first of all, I would like to know कि caster क्यों इस तरफ आना कैसे हुआ?
I think as everybody started, I think I also started by wanting to be an esports professional player. मेरी इच्छा थी कि मैं एक टीम के लिए खेलूं. I try to grind
Yeah,
everything same as everybody. There's no other reason anybody else enters esports. You always begin with the dream of wanting to play. मैंने आज तक कभी ऐसे किसी को देखा नहीं है कि हाँ मेरे को esports उतरना है प्रोड्यूसर बनने के लिए. ऐसा कभी देखा नहीं है unless you watch that, you've experienced it, or you whether
yeah.
on phone or live. Same way, I started off as a player. I wanted to be a player, but I soon realized that my skill level is it's there up to a certain level. I did play semi-pro for a while in CS:GO. I tried to compete in Valorant as well, but I think I soon realized that there's a lot of other things that will come in my way. That of course, financials being one of those main things. But it wasn't financials that kind of made me go towards casting or particularly, but it was more the fact that during college I kind of you could say found my personality sort of like through this platform called Toastmasters, and it's a leadership and speech giving opportunity. It's a platform which basically was there in my college days where you go on stage, you give a speech on a certain topic in front of your entire class, and then you get feedback on it. You have a mentor who prepares you and everything. Before that point, I was a very feeble, quiet, introvertish guy. And the
Yeah.
minute I found Toastmasters, my confidence skyrocketed to a point I did not know I had it in me. So the day I found Toastmasters, and the day I realized, what, there's actually a viable career called casting in esports. I was like, I got two of my very, very highly loved things. One is public
Yeah,
speaking, esports, mesh it together, and you have casting. And yeah, since that, the rest is basically what I've been doing on screen.
that's amazing. मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा पता था that you wanted to
Hmm.
be a player and then you switched on to casting, but I did not know this much. So second thing, how long have you been doing this for?
मैंने शुरुआत की थी 20. I mean, professionally in the industry, I've been here since 2020. Uh, just around when COVID started, I think. उसी वक्त मैंने शुरू किया था. So yeah, been good 4 years now.
Saw you casting and I like used to like it and I still like it and
Thank you. Basically, yeah.
so ऐसा होता है कि कास्टिंग के बीच में फंबल हो जाए एंड
बहुत बार.
तो वो कैसे, वो हाउ डू यू कवर दैट अप उसको?
I, I mean, you never look back. You just keep moving ahead. I think this is one thing that I learned from Crips, particularly when I was starting early out. Crips told me कि fumble हमेशा हर caster से होता है. ऐसा है ही नहीं कि you are going to be दूध का दूल्हा completely perfect with your vocabulary, right?
Yeah,
There's always going to be some sentence that you'll miss. Some days it will be worse, some days it will be good. लेकिन जब भी ये होता है, I just need to, you need to remember that the audience themselves catch on to it. Maybe if it's something major, if it's something minor, and if you yourself are saying it with so much confidence, like let's say you call Deathmaker as Deathmaker, right? By chance, okay.
yeah,
For example, let's say by mistake, and वो हो भी जाए तो आप ऐसे कॉन्फिडेंस से अगर बोलोगे एंड यू डोंट करेक्ट और लेट्स से इवन इफ यू से
yeah,
सॉरी डेथ में फॉरगिव मी डेथ में करेक्शन
yeah.
डेथ में कर just move on instantly. That fumble keep happening, you can revisit it later and see, अरे यार ये हो गया, चलो I need to keep this in mind करके. But apart from that, just instantly never stop because the game's
Yeah.
not stopping. Why
Yeah.
should you?
ओके। और इसी से एक बहुत ही कंट्रोवर्शियल क्वेश्चन हो सकता है, लाइक पीपल अभी वीसेल ऐसे चल रहा था, सो पीपल वर लाइक रियली हेटिंग ऑन हिंदी कास्टिंग।
Hmm.
व्हाई डू यू थिंक दिस हैपेंस? लाइक मेजर रीजन, लाइक पीपल डू वांट टू वॉच हिंदी चैनल, बट
Hmm.
वहाँ पे हिंदी कास्टिंग में और इंग्लिश कास्टिंग में वो गैप जो आ रहा है वो क्यों है, और क्या चीज़ है वो?
I think one of the major reasons, and this is not to derive any credit from the casters who are currently doing it, जो कोशिश बहुत अच्छी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन I think it's because this time I think if they've been given the taste of like having people like Fixes, Ocean,
या
Phoenix, who's there, uh, ये काफी अच्छे casters हैं, especially Fixes and Shivansh for me.
या
I think they understand the technicalities, and वो सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि वो technicality understand करते हैं. I think even the casters who are casting this year's events know the game, लेकिन vocabulary में कभी कभार काफी टाइम चूक हो जाती है. Like they say sentences that sometimes kind of are irky to
या
the audience, right? And it's that sentence itself. क्योंकि you look at other regional casting, right? Let's say Portuguese for Brazilians, Japanese or Korean, especially Japanese, right? People always like, "Arey yaar, Japanese casting, it's amazing," But again, you get the point that it's a local language,
या
right? They have a certain style. So, in my opinion, Hindi hasn't found its style yet. I think there's a lot of people who are trying out different things. लेकिन ऐसी कोई uh, there's not a certain path that anybody's found, because if you look at Japanese, right, the way that they speak kind of sounds like how you would listen to it in anime,
या
right?
एग्जैक्टली।
ऐसे कास्ट जैसे कि एनिमे बैटल हो रहा है, Brazilian Spanish को पकड़े तो they, how Spanish, when
या
they speak Spanish, it's very fast, it's very quick. It kind of feels like que pasa mi amigo, porque estás, it's so quick, and ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ बहुत ही like the way they speak is kind of like a high pace kind of thing.
लाइक
और वो समझ भी आता है स्पेनिश लोगों को, क्योंकि ज्यादातर स्पेनिश लोग वैसे ही बात करते हैं. और हिंदी का अगर हम बात करें तो इन हिंदी आई थिंक द रीजन व्हाई nobody's got, because there are multiple different people who speak it in multiple different ways. There's no certain set path. It's not like we speak like it's an anime battle. We don't speak
या
completely fast either. Vocabulary भी कभी कभार इधर उधर English add हो जाती है इधर उधर. But if you see Spanish and Japanese, there's no addition, because Hindi is kind of a language which is kind of, I think, you can't have it as a complete शुद्ध हिंदी अगर बोले ना
या
तो बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि ज्यादातर लोगों को पता भी नहीं है कि पूरी vocabulary को हिंदी में कैसे बोला जाए. So I think that's one thing. The other thing is, I would say experience. I think the casters that have casted there, चाहे उनको experience हो cast करने का गेम को, but I think हिंदी casting में उनके लिए शायद वो चूक रही हो, because I had never heard of Spartus before this. I know Fritz, I know Phoenix had casted a couple of games. My thing is, when Phoenix was on, he's got that catch of Hindi, right? So he does
या
it very well. I think Fritz bhi Hindi karte, but I think that's the thing. If you've got multiple games on it, because he as a Nodwin employee, I think
या
he does multiple games as well, right? So instant switch up, vocabulary maybe,
या
because Valorant is Valorant. There's multiple reasons, but I think over the over the couple of months coming in, maybe next year, maybe when somebody finds out a formula for Hindi casting properly, we'll get around to
one thing which I've learned and seen in other people कि अगर YouTube grow करना है so you have to bring a little bit of uniqueness and something different which other people are not doing.
it. Yeah.
My question to you, when you started YouTube, what did you have in mind, and what do you think कि you provide different from other people, and how, like, why people should watch you as a YouTuber?
I think the number one, strength of mine that I really pull through with is my storytelling, because my editing not so strong. My
Wait till you see my editing.
I mean, no, honestly, my editing is not strong at all. I highly rely on my storytelling skills to actually make it work. And also because I think when I, try to cut down stuff or, analyze games, like, for example, Global Esports is or any others for that matter, I think I know it in a way. I see the games in a way where I feel like I know why every movement is happening the way it is, and I'm able to break it down a little bit more simpler, and that ties into my storytelling skills. That's why I am a caster, because I'm able to make sure that what you see on screen, if you don't understand it, I know how to put it forward for you. So when I started YouTube, my I started off by doing by abiding to the fact that I want to uh, focus on my storytelling, and that's what's propelled me so far. Even today, it's been a year. I've learned a little bit more editing. Yeah, that's there, but I'm not that great at thumbnails. Sometimes when it comes to it,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
that
can
great
vouch
at
for
edit.
it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not that great at thumbnails. I do get a couple of bits of help sometimes from a couple of my editing friends, and my editing in videos in general, is doesn't help me as often as I would think, but it is pretty decent in the way that I'm able to stitch my lines and the video playing in the
Yeah.
background, right? So that's the one thing. But I would say 80, not 80, 65% of my work would be because I know how to tell a story.
Yeah, I can agree with you upon being a great storyteller because I love it. I agree with you not being a thumbnail editor because I recently saw the thumbnail of the recent video with the Techno and Levi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was horrendous, but I had to put up some things. I just like,
One thing you mentioned कि लोगों को जो स्क्रीन पे नहीं दिख रहा है समझ नहीं आ रहा तो you try to convey that story for people. It's been done and dusted, but then again, GE Viper comp on bind.
the G bind Viper comp was something that they could have executed well enough if they had gone for the play style behind it. And this is something that I was screaming for when I was watch partying that game as well.
Yeah,
Until round six, no, round seven, they were walking, contact playing, not letting Polvi do his thing in the way that he wanted to, making him walk, utility not being used in the way that it should be, with double initiator being there, Viper wall being committed towards A almost every single time, having a single smoke orb to protect you if you go B, and not clearing corners with the utility, rather just walking towards it, where you've got a player like Depp who has an operator in his hand like 90% of the time.
yeah,
So yeah, it I feel like they could have, if the one round that I was screaming for them to do, they did it in round number seven, where they went for an aggressive shower attack.
yeah,
Uh, Rust threw his flash. There was a knife behind it, and Polvi flew straight in, and instantly they got two kills on that
yeah,
side. And Zeta were very very confused and very, uh, you know, they were completely flustered about what was happening.
yeah.
And that was the one round. Instantly, the next round, they were able to convert it again, but they went back to that contact play again, ended the half on 8-4. But
And why do you think this thing happened? Like if they had a strategy plan कि ऐसे खेलना है, then why do you think कि अगर जो particular strat एक round में work किया, दो round में work किया, then why they kept going back to something which was not working?
I think it's because of a mental issue during the game. I feel like they kind of had that, reminiscence of what happened against Zeta in the previous game. And also because I think Spin wasn't expecting Lotus to be picked up. I
Yeah,
think he was expecting a scent. But I think it was an entire mental game, and I think Zeta won 50% of it before the game even started. Zeta just needed that first bounce of 4 rounds, and it almost seemed like the series could have gotten over right there. So
Yeah,
I think mentality was a huge issue, and they spoke about it as well. They were not feeling, the same mental
yeah,
ease that they were doing before the game. And once they started feeling the pressure from Zeta, which actually wasn't too much, honestly, because we saw how Team Secret kind of just
yeah.
pummeled them into the ground. I feel like mentality was a huge, huge issue, and they need to rectify it in the games to come.
And one more thing which I found really quite confusing,
Yeah,
and we all know Convergence may be Furiaga against the map which G always favored was Sunset.
yeah,
जी ने ग्लोब उस जेटा के अगेंस्ट फर्स्ट मैच में सनसेट फर्स्ट पिक नहीं किया.
mm,
देन दे वेंट टू प्ले ऑन ब्लीड. उसमें फर्स्ट मैच सनसेट पिक किया बट दे डिड नॉट गो फॉर बाइंड. और
yeah,
फिर थर्ड मैच में अगेन दे वेंट फॉर बाइंड और फिर सनसेट छोड़ दिया. लाइक
yeah.
इफ सनसेट इज देयर स्ट्रॉन्गर मैप, बाइंड वाली सिचुएशन को भी हम रख ले,
Sorry.
and कि if they think their single controller viper comp on bind is strong,
Mhm.
तो why did not they select bind with bleed or go with sunset with against zeta?
I don't know. Honestly, that's a question that the GE coaching staff has to answer. Why they didn't choose to go for? I think they kind of went with that. You know what? I wouldn't say ego, but I would say confidence pick. I think they wanted to show Zeta that, you know what, you beat us, we're gonna beat you back. No, but I was hoping that there would be a change. Even after there was no change, I was like, you know what? I'm hoping there's gonna be change in the game style, the play
Yeah.
style, but it wasn't there. But yeah, I still don't know why they picked Bind over Sunset. That is for spin and big time to answer.
And while talking about bleed, what do you have to say people shitting on EA with viper?
Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know why would you shit on. I mean, I guess he had. Yes, El Diablo's been missing for over a year now, and
Yeah,
he's just come back. But I really believe that he should be okay with the season beginning. Uh, one bad game does not okay. One two bad games does not wipe his legacy of the last 3 years that he cemented. So yeah, Ye will be back. He will do really well. I feel bad that Egoist went out. I feel bad
yeah,
that Crazy Guy
crazy
is
guy.
benched. But I think it was a change that felt Egoist. I don't know. It's Crazy Guy maybe felt like a necessary change because of all the rumors that I'm hearing around what's happened with the team. Because they said it was a decision made if there's problems within the team internally. So I don't know. Maybe Crazy Guy had an issue with the team, or I don't know what it was, but it is what it is, and yeah, but Bleed will bounce back. Will definitely.
So convergence was a like really big break for you,
Yeah.
right? So tell me, how was the experience of convergence and how did it happen?
Convergence, I think, was an event that I did not expect was coming. First of all, I didn't know that it was happening until, of course, I got approached by TEC for it. And when they told me that I'm going to be on the English desk, and I found out that it's going to be with Kremer, Pavlos, Komodo, Tash, I was like, this is a great honor. But
Yeah,
overall, I think it was an experience that I valued a lot more than what I was just going to get paid for it or the games itself, because I think the people I met there, the connections I found, the friends that I made as well. Tash is now a really good friend. Komodo's now become a really good friend. Kramer and Pavlos from GXR itself, I knew them when I casted GXR back in 2022. But now it's it's really nice experience, and I can get to say I'm the only Indian who's done it on the English desk. For an 8-year event in India, because I feel like, in my personal opinion, Convergence is the biggest event that's happened in
yeah,
India. Period. And I get to be a part of it on the side that was being telecasted on LAN and international audiences were watching it.
yeah.
I think it was a surreal experience for
Convergence. The next stop for you is VCT Pacific.
me. Mm.
So I really want to know कि you are casting at like tier 2 scene, and what's the difference between a tier 2 caster and a tier 1 caster at the VCT? Yeah, and what are the like different skill set क्या होते हैं कि Riot will look at the particular person and see कि हाँ ये fit है T1 casting के लिए.
It's not up to Riot actually per se. It's the TO who organizes,
Okay.
who usually end up choosing. I think, as far as I know, because Riot do give, of course, Riot have a hand. They recommend and they say you should probably get this person and all that yada yada whatnot. But I think the difference between a T2 and Tier One would number one be the way you weave your casting, how prepared you are. That's the one thing. Vocabulary matters a lot in my opinion. If you're being very I would say rigid, I think that's kind of a thing that people, you don't need to try too hard. Sometimes there are some people who try too hard. Sometimes for people who feel like, what, I don't need to probably do that much preparation. There's a sweet spot between that, and T1 people know exactly how to hit that sweet spot, because I think number one difference is that what you just mentioned, that tech pause, right? If you're a T1 caster, you know how to talk the hell out of tech pause.
Yeah.
But T2 caster, you probably will start fumbling around the back.
So, like for you, what do you think ki, like where do you lack or what more preparation do you need to do to get to VCT?
I think the number one thing I need right now is a little bit more experience and exposure. While I'm doing my YouTube, while I started my YouTube for the fact that I wanted to, showcase that, what, I'm a caster who knows his shit and everything. Yeah, yeah. But I kind of, enjoy doing a YouTube with video right now a lot more, in the way that I just enjoyed making YouTube videos rather than, doing it for the sense of being a caster. Uh, and I feel like what I need to do right now, I feel like I feel like I am ready for taking a step above, because I didn't get into VCLSA. There was no English broadcast, of course.
Yeah.
Even though there's a English broadcast for the LAN event, I won't be a part of it, but that's a whole different story that I couldn't work out for. uh, but I am actively trying to cement my way through my own personal brand of showing, that I'm a caster and doing this, and maybe make it to Ascension, or any other VCL league, which VC league, which is looking to
Like
maybe have
English.
an English
Yeah.
broadcast, yeah. And I'm I guess the one, if I have to really do something, I think it's probably improve on my vocabulary a little bit more. I think I have a curse where if I talk in my, if when I cast in my accent, I'm a lot more smooth flowing than
Yeah.
my normal voice. But then I prefer that. I guess it's a weird curse, but I prefer it because I prefer casting in my accent anyway. I feel like it kind of gives me an edge because I feel like my self-trained accent is that's the one thing I feel like, what, I'm slightly proud of, because I feel like without having any professional training, I
Yeah.
can I can pull off a decent enough accent. One thing would be vocabulary improving by quite a bit, and if it when it co- if the question comes to whether I feel like I'm ready for it, I feel like, I want the opportunity. Yeah, I feel like I'm ready, and I think I'm just looking and working towards finding opportunities now so that I can prove myself.
Yeah. That's really interesting, and I really hope you get to the VCT really soon.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, Convergence was a really big break for you, and you
Yeah.
got a lot of exposure. तो सोचो था कभी इतने बड़े स्टेज के बाद सीधा मेरे चैनल पे आने का मौका मिलेगा एज अ फर्स्ट गेस्ट मिलेगा एज अ फर्स्ट एज अ
नहीं नहीं,
फर्स्ट गेस्ट
आई डोंट थिंक सो, ऐसा मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं था। मेरे को ख्वाब में भी नहीं, आई नेवर वुड हैव ड्रीम्ड, व्हाट, दैट आई वुड बी टॉकिंग विथ यू, क्लॉब्रेन। या मैन, ना, आई थिंक
Yeah,
दिस इज एन ऑनर।
yeah. From reading chats to talking to me, you have come a long way.
Absolutely agreed.
Yeah, yeah. Now, so I have a little game for you,
Oh,
and yeah, rapid fire round. Okay. So the rule is simple. I'll ask a question, you have to answer, but you only get one chance. Okay.
okay, got it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So there's a catch. If you manage to get like 70% of the questions right, you might get a gift.
Yeah, let's go. Okay,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I'm pumped.
Now come.
Now I'm pumped. Yeah, let's
Okay,
go.
I'll start off with a little easy question. Okay.
Sure.
First question is, what is the nationality of Phoenix?
British.
Planting spike gives how much credit?
Plant one.
Wrong. How
No,
many?
credit. Oh, I sorry. I thought you were talking about Altor. My bad. My bad.
Okay,
Um, wait. Let me. 800,000.
wrong. How many initiators are there in the game?
Wait. Who's the initiator? Let me see. 5.
Wrong. Name five controllers.
Astra, Omen, Harbor, Viper, Astra, Omen, Harbor, Viper. Which other controllers is there? Oh my god. Astra, Harbor, Viper, Omen, Brimstone.
Yeah.
कितने हो गए?
First map released after the beta launch.
First map released after beta launch. I think it was Haven
Wrong. First agent after the beta launch.
Arena.
Cool. What's Deadlock Ultimate called?
Deadlock's Ultimate. Dude, I read this day before yesterday, man. I read this day
Who
before
leaked my
yesterday.
question?
Wait. Oh my god. Pass. I
Yeah. Name the maps which are not in the rotation right now.
Fracture and Pearl and
Wrong.
Haven and Haven.
Yeah, right. Which gun has the fastest fire rate?
Stinger
Right. How much does a Bucky cost?
850.
Right. SK Rossi or Caramel?
SK Rossi.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Nice. So this was a good round, and I think you might have won
Yeah.
something. Maybe
Yeah.
that
Dude,
will.
I knew the Deadlock Ultimate. Wait, what is it called? I forgot.
It's called Annihilation.
Annihilation. Yes. Oh my god. Annihilation. Yes.
If
Okay.
if you'll get it right, I'll DM you with a like Primordium Vandal.
वो
Uh,
ओके ओके
okay,
ये
cool.
पहले बोलना चाहिए था तो मैं ना थोड़ा प्रिपेयर है बट एनीवे या
Yeah,
फेयर नो
cool.
प्रॉब्लम
Moving on to the last segment of this. So,
या
and people who are trying to be a caster or analyst in the game, तो उनके लिए क्या advice? Like even if I want to be an analyst in the game और enter करना है, so how do I start and क्या क्या चीजें देखनी पड़ेंगी?
I think and I'll be blunt with this because it's not going to be easy. I was fortunate enough to enter at a time where Valorant had just begun. I started my career just when Valorant started as well. So back then there were a lot of third-party tournaments. There's a lot of things happening and whatnot. Right now, Valorant has become very, you know, I would say monopolist kind of a thing, where of course Nordwind Gaming do the VCLSA main season, and then if you're lucky, there's more than two, maybe three off seasons. Convergence, of course, like being one of them. So if you're looking to be a caster or an analyst, I'd say right now the market is such that you will have to join a tournament organizer like Nordwind. Nordwind being your best bet, I think. You
Yeah,
know, but they usually look at whether you've got some experience, whether or not, like where you become a full-time caster. So, but the thing with that is you also end up doing other tournaments that they've got, which might include BGMI, which might include I don't know, FIFA or stuff like that, right? So there are pros and cons. You might not get paid as much as you would get paid as a freelancer, but then the freelancers don't make that much as well at this point.
yeah.
Me being one, I know it. So I would say to become a caster, probably approach a TO if you're really willing to commit to it. Become a full-time employee, talk to them, do different games, but also do Valorant when it comes to it. Approach TOs when there's off-season events. See how you can improve your cast. Make a ward. Pick up one of the games that you watch. Let's say VCT Pacific.
Yeah.
Mute it. Record it with your own casting. Record it with your own analysis separately. See how you can improve your vocabulary. Make sure that you're a little smooth and flamboyant with the way that you present it, and above everything, make sure that you're able to be active on social media, because at this point, at this day and age, if you're not, then there's no point in trying to become one, because as harsh as the reality it is, you need to be a personality to be somebody in this industry.
यूनिवर्स नाम कहाँ से आया?
uh, ऐसे मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं था इस आई जस्ट काइंड ऑफ एक्चुअली जस्ट picked it up because I love space and time and the universe in general. But there was this one Dota 2 player named Universe, and he was the only one when I searched. There was no other player that I had ever seen who had the name Universe. I was like, कोई caster भी नहीं है तो उठा लो
या
कोई बात
पहले
नहीं.
बुक कर लो.
Yeah, पहले book कर लो. So it's there. Yes, that's
Yeah.
simple.
And I wanna ask this question for the
Yeah.
video and for the people. G bundle लिया क्या?
नहीं लिया तो ले लो जल्दी.
हाँ.
I haven't bought it myself yet, but I will buy it very soon once I get money, and I will also buy the Paper X for my own for my own sake. Buy both Paper X and G, but buy G first.
Yeah, good. So
Same.
thank you, universe, for doing
Thank
this.
you.
It
Thank you
was
so much for
lovely.
having me. It was an
Yeah,
honor. Thank you so much.
honor, bro. It was my honor to have you on the show. And hopefully, I'll see you at some land two.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Uh, yeah, I hope so. Hope so. And thank you again for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you
And
so much.
hope to see you soon.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. See
Thank you
you.
so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. और अगर वीडियो पसंद आई हो तो make sure to hit like, subscribe and comment down below the people you want to see on the show and I'll try my best to bring them. तब तक के लिए I'll guys see you on the next one.